Good morning. Welcome to tea time. I say morning. Maybe you guys are watching this at some other time during the day. Maybe it's midnight. Who knows? So happy evening, whatever.
Good day. Good day
Good
to
day.
you.
Good day to you. Welcome to tea time with Amie and Bev, coming each week with our organic conversations to bring insight, hopefully valuable content or something that will help you along your life journey. That's our goal. And so here we are. And just keeping in mind that, through our messages, you might know somebody who would receive the benefit of these conversations. So what's up, Miss Beverly?
Nothing. Actually enjoying the weather. It's been so nice. I think I
Oh
start
my
off with
God.
that part of the conversation a lot, but it's like I really am enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been great.
How about yourself?
Good, very good. I'm in a kind of like a mastermind group with for business, and but it's more about incorporating or having a spiritual business. And it doesn't matter what type of business. We have people of all types. They could be insurance agents or photographers. It doesn't matter. I myself am a coach, but bringing in more of a spiritual practice into whatever our business is. And so that's where I'm at. We just started last week, and so starting this new journey, learning.
Nice.
Not really learning something new, but getting new techniques, new skills. So spirituality is something I'm aware of. I've been practicing for a while and now learning to incorporate that in the business world. So yeah,
Good.
so super excited about that.
That's exciting.
It, and of course, we talk about social media and websites and our own mindset and let's see. Oh, we have a techie meeting. So we're introduced to different technological stuff, computers, cameras, microphones. So someday I'll graduate from this little gadget, but in the meantime, it works.
It
As long as
works.
you can still hear me, we're good.
That's right. Crystal clear.
So yeah, a lot of information and a lot of support. So this group is amazing in support, and maybe that's just something I need to point out, that whatever your endeavors are, whether it's healing, whether it's growth, whether it's starting something new, get your support. Get a person or a group of people. It doesn't have to be a huge group, a small group, handful of people that are on the same page, right? That have similar interests as you and will support you in your endeavors. Super important. And I think the main piece of that is that you can really hold each other accountable for your goals, for whatever you're moving toward. There are some days being, a self-employed, like, I don't want to do it. I'll just be real. I don't want to do it. And I work from home. So I don't go to an office, and it'd be so much easier to just say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, that doesn't work so well. So in this group that I'm in, there's accountability. They're like, okay, post what you plan on doing this week. And then on Sundays, we check in. Did you do it? Where did you struggle, right? So it's having a group of people to not only support you and cheer you on, but also, when you have to answer to somebody about something that you said you're going to do, it makes it a big difference, right?
It
And
does.
I know you've been a personal trainer, right?
Well, not. I've guided a few people, but I've never been certified in anything like that to do
Oh,
personal
okay.
training.
Okay. So, have you had a personal trainer?
I have not.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to be accountable for something and you had to report to somebody?
Well, yes, for work and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're self-employed as well, but I mean, you're doing massage and you're showing up for your clients and you go outside of your home. And so, I mean, even like with what I'm doing, you know, how many times, Amy, are you going to post in social media every day? Right? And I make that commitment. And then comes Sunday, I'm reporting, did I do this or not?
Yeah.
Right? We had to come up with 3 things we were working on. So mine was getting up earlier, moving my body for 30 minutes minimum every day, and posting in social media. And my platform, other than doing this, is Facebook. And so, and then having to report, did I accomplish this all week? Makes it a huge difference.
Yeah.
So
I'm held accountable on the daily. If I don't show up for my clients,
right.
then I don't show up, then I don't have clients. So, and then I have days too. Some days I don't, it's like some days it's like I need a break, but I won't do anything. I'll wait until people just cancel or whatever. And it seems, for me, it seems like it always works out well.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be accountable with your energy, right? We've talked about that before. How you show up as a massage therapist, that's your accountability.
Yeah. Even if I'm going through a lot of stuff, which I have recently, there's been some changes, good changes. I feel like it may not have come across good initially, but it's good. I still have to be accountable for how I'm feeling. I still have to set myself aside to be able to work on someone, because I wouldn't want to push that energy or push my feelings onto someone else while I'm working on them, because I want them feeling. I always tell my clients, you're always going to feel better than when you came in. That's my goal always. Sometimes it's mentally, sometimes it's physically, emotionally, however it shows up spiritually. It's just whatever they show up for is kind of what I provide. I set my intentions. I used to ask people to set their intentions. I don't even ask them anymore to set their intentions, because they've already set a million intentions before they walked in my door. So I just set for the greatest good, setting my intentions to match or exceed theirs.
Yeah.
And the information always comes through what they need. Awesome. Or maybe it's just the massage, or just the pressure, or I focus on a certain area that maybe I wouldn't have realized.
And you have to be present to do that, to bring that energy in, to get that with messages. And again, it just comes back to you're being accountable to that client.
Yes.
To show up fully for them. You got to set your whole life aside and be there for them.
Which is not a bad thing, right? That brings you right to now.
Yep.
I was talking to someone yesterday, and they're like, well, I like to watch these videos and stuff because when I start feeling anxiety and stuff, I'll watch these videos. I said, well, you're just watching those videos. Videos are just bringing you into right now. It's helping you focus on right now. You're not stuck in the past, thinking about whatever you're spinning your wheels about. You're not worried about the future, about decisions that you think you've got to make or don't have to make. You're right now. It's not a matter of not thinking this. Is like I was told recently, a lot of times people like to gamble and stuff because that brings them to right now. They don't realize that when they go in there, it's not really the addiction. They just want to be present right now, and that helps them to be present. They don't know another way or have another tool to do it otherwise.
And it's same, with, gambling or video games or, games on your phone. My husband has said, I got to keep myself busy or my mind just wanders all over the place. And so he sits and he plays a game every night to keep him present. I have to say he's really good. Like if I ask him, like I need help with something, or if I need to talk to him, he will put it aside like almost immediately, and I'll have his full attention or receive his help. But he even being in with living with me and what I practice and everything, he has his own journey. And so until he decides that it's time for him to practice anything new or make a change, that's not up to me to do. So if he gets his satisfaction from this game every night, so be it.
So be it. Yeah. until you start learning different tools, and then then you start learning those tools, and then putting them into place and practicing them. It's different, but
And it's
all it
like,
is really bringing them present.
yeah. And we all want that magic pill for everything, right? We want our
Yeah.
finances to be done right. We want the weight off right now. We want, the mind chatter to go away right now. But really, everything takes practice. And
So one of my practices, you say that everything takes practice. One of my practices, I caught myself doing the same thing. We call it monkey mind or whatever. I started wandering and started saying stuff, and it's like it helps me to differentiate between, okay, this is my mind coming up with this. It's not information I'm receiving. It's not information I'm receiving, because information that I receive usually it's like a neutral, matter of fact, this is the way, whatever it is, and it's never, doesn't feel painful or hard or anything. But my mind will start going. And then the other day, it's like I grabbed my phone, turned on Pandora, put on some music, and then started washing my cups from work. So it took me right, I got myself out. I mean, I caught myself so quick, I got myself right out of it and jumped right into doing something else. And I felt great after that. But I recognize, and that's where we slow down, right? If we're constantly keeping ourselves busy, because I've done that too, then we're not recognizing this is going on. And the next thing you know, you've got this freaking hurricane going inside of your mind, a story that you might have created that you've made even bigger. It's not even true. And then you think about creating. If I'm creating, I don't want to create that in my future. So it's like catching it. If we're listening, we're catching things a lot quicker. We're paying attention to the stuff that we're telling ourselves.
yeah, and like you said, we're creating our future, because whatever's going on right now is what you have been thinking past, right?
Yes.
It's the momentum of that, all that, to bring you to where you are right now. And so if you want something different, you got to change what you're thinking about and how you feel. You got to change those emotions as well, um, and start the momentum for your creation of your future. Is the future guaranteed? No. However, I just know I'm going to be here for at least 40 more years. Just a knowing I have.
Yeah.
And if I want those next 40 years to be better than it is right now, I have to make that shift. I have to make that change. And it all starts here. It all starts in your thinking. What are you thinking about?
Because you got to love yourself more, right? We have to, and that's one of the ways we practice love. And that's just kind of hitting me, because I didn't realize that is a way of practicing loving ourselves, by not allowing ourselves to stay in that uncomfortable feeling, or that sad place, that angry place, that whatever you've got going on that you're spinning through in your mind. It's just one of the ways that, another way that we love ourselves. We love ourselves enough to take the time to listen to what we're saying to ourselves, to listen to our emotions that are showing up, to listen to the pains that are showing up. Because everything for me, I feel like, is guidance. Every single thing that I'm getting all the time is guidance. However I would choose to see it, whether you want to use the guidance as the numbers that you're seeing on a license plate in front of you, the times you're seeing, the song you're hearing, whatever it is, everything is like we're bombarded with messages on a daily. I was listening to music the other day, and this song comes on and talks about a drama queen. And I'm like, but the person I was thinking about, it was like letting me know, and I didn't realize how in tune I could be, because I could acknowledge my mind was thinking about this, and this is what came forward to me. So we're constantly receiving information, constantly, not just me, not just you, all of us, but we're not listening. Most of the time, I spent 50 years of not listening, not really all of it. A lot of it, though. I mean, I spent a lot of time not listening. I knew the answer to everything because I was younger. I always thought I knew and didn't want anybody telling me anything, because I was pushing through the world. I find it very interesting when I slow down.
Yeah. I know the teenage thing. I know, right? Because we're so knowledgeable as teenagers. And then, as you get older, it's the proving your strength and your worthiness, and that you're good enough. So I got this. Don't tell me how to do it. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need help. Yeah, I don't need anybody's help.
I don't need your help. I got it.
Yeah, I'm drowning. Throw me a life preserver. But no, I don't really need it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
But it's those moments that really catch your attention, though. Like you listening to a song, and then all of a sudden the words "drama queen" stand out to you and you're like, whoa, and that gets
Yeah.
your attention.
Yep, because I didn't hear
So
it before. I've never heard the song before, and I didn't. And then all of a sudden, that verse is what caught me. I was like, "What? Did they really just say this?" And it was. It was.
and then you take that, that's when those messages like really get your attention. That's when you stop and take a moment to reflect, right?
True.
Is this getting my attention because I've been the drama queen? Am I being a drama queen? Am I getting wrapped up in somebody's drama and am I giving this attention to it? Or is there somebody in my life that's being a drama queen that I'm giving attention to, my
True.
time and energy to it, and keeping the story alive, right? There's different ways to look at a situation. And so, but it always turns back to, what am I learning about it, about myself,
It's true.
right? But those messages, be aware of the verbiage or the words that get your attention. And like you said, we get them all day, every day.
And what were you thinking? What was going through your mind at that time?
Yep.
Because half the time we're not paying attention, which means we're not present, and we're not recognizing. But when you are, it's like, wait a minute, I was just thinking about this. How crazy that this song just came on. Or I was thinking about this person or this situation. And to me, that's all about self-love too. That's taking time to love yourself. So for me, in my experience recently, I've had someone that's had an opinion about me and stuff like that. And I started thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I am this kind of person. But then it's like, that's not self-love. Valuing my own opinion, everyone else's opinion doesn't matter, whether it's good or bad, whether it's uplifting me or praising me or trying to bring me down. None of that matters. I think we put too much value in other people's words and we don't pay enough attention to ourselves. And another way of showing this self-love is judgment, right? How many times have we judged ourselves in comparison to someone else? Like, oh, I wish I had clothes like her, or I wish I looked like that, or how come my stomach doesn't look like that, or how come my ankles don't look like, whatever it is, how come my hair doesn't look like that? Comparing ourselves and judging ourselves, and it's recognizing to not do that. Really, because when we don't do it, we're practicing more self-love. When we're catching ourselves, I used to think that self-love was oh, I should go get a massage and I should go do this. And it's not going to do anything. It's just being. It's not allowing your mind to go off on this crazy trip that feels uncomfortable, that just makes you, it's clear. You're either happy or you're sad. Happy feels great. Sad doesn't feel so good. It's simple. That's how simple it is.
I know, it's so simple.
Listen.
And the other part, though, what you're saying, in comparison of, I wish I had clothes like that, or wish my hair looked like that, or whatever the case, I wish I had a house like that, I wish I had a car like that, or whatever. That is also a form of not loving yourself, because you're staying in that lack mentality, saying, I am not worthy or deserving, or this is not possible for me. And that's where that momentum gets going. That's why they highly recommend that you do vision boards. If you want that car, you get a picture of that car in the color you want it, with the interior that you want it. You go visit the dealership and look at it, or sit and imagine or visualize that you're in it. You can smell that new car scent. That is saying, I am worthy and deserving of this, and I can create it. But when you say, I wish I could do that, or that probably never happened for me, or that's your thinking process, and that is your momentum, and that is your creation. And as Abraham Hicks talks about, is we create our reality. So whatever reality you're experiencing right now, you're contributing to it with your thoughts and emotions. And you can change it. But you have to choose to do it, right? Damn choices.
It's true. And sometimes we don't recognize, and for me, because this has kind of into my experience recently, that to be in someone's life for a very long time and to recognize how much control was being used over you. And I say used over you because we only allow control. I mean, we allow someone else to have control over us. But when you've gone through abuse, or I don't care if it's sexual, mental, physical, any of those things, like the boundaries we've talked about before, there's no boundaries. But also you don't realize how much control you've given control of yourself over to somebody else. You do things even if you feel obligated to, doesn't feel good. There's just a lot of different things that I've recognized recently, and it's like, that's not, it's been actually very freeing. And I know this will be in several layers for me, which I'll discuss whenever it comes up. But it's very, it's crazy to me kind of, because we don't recognize, sometimes we don't recognize that we even need these tools. Sometimes we don't recognize when we're in an abusive relationship. And I say abusive loosely because, like I said, it could be in so many different forms. It doesn't have to be, and it could be from so many different people. It could be anybody in your life, really. But it's like, it's usually the closest ones too, is that we don't even recognize. And then we pick other people, or we can't figure out why are we having these people around us, because it's like a like-minded thing that we haven't let go of yet. We haven't let go of this space, of this energy, of this control. So you kind of find people, friends, lovers, you know, family members, whatever, that are in that same type of area, until you recognize that I don't match with this energy anymore. The reason that we're not seeing eye to eye anymore is because we're not a match on energy, and that's okay. And that's all right. And then it just reminded me again to value my own opinion. My opinion matters of myself more than someone else's. But that's taken me a long time to get there. I didn't always feel this way. I couldn't even recognize it. Last week when we talked about being worthy, I think was probably the first time I ever recognized feeling that I was deserving and worthy of being treated the way I wanted to be treated, not the way I was being treated. And so it's taken me a long time just to recognize that.
Mm. And you had to be ready to hear it, and you had to hear it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. And let me ask you this. It's just it's a reflection question. Was the person that was being controlling, was it a reflection of you? Were you controlling each other, trying to control each other? Or was it, I mean, there could be different avenues. Was it you just not learning to stand in your power and not be controlled, and recognize that you were being controlled? You know, because I mean, when it comes to relationships, there's different dynamics to it, and there's different things to learn about it. And there are many layers to it.
There is.
Right?
And there's many answers to that question.
Yeah. So any highlights that you could share about it, just as what was the dynamics?
I would say early on that would be all I knew. So that was just, and even then as a teenager I was fighting against. Like I was constantly running away. I was constantly, you tell me a curfew, I'll be home whenever I get home.
Don't tell me what to do.
Exactly. So I would push against. And then later on, I would say that once I started gaining these tools and stuff, I really started pushing. I started pushing my information. So trying to control, well, no, you shouldn't say that. You should feel this way, or you need to think this way, or do this. So I was matching. So at that point, I was matching the push. And then more recently, it was just kind of pulling back, recognizing it and seeing it for what it was, and pulling back until it like kind of blew up. And then it was like, this, I don't deserve this, and I'm worthy of so much more. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be treated better. And it's like it's been a process. There was never one answer for that. I think if someone has one answer, you need to look a little bit deeper, because there's a lot more, because there were several layers to it.
Yeah, and it's going to keep surfacing in different ways.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I'm blown away. And recognizing,
that was a long relationship. I mean, a long relationship. And so there's many layers that will surface in different ways when you're ready. I think that's true, is that when you're in a space to see the next layer, like you wouldn't be able to handle all those layers right now. It would be too overwhelming. You'd be like, what the hell, right?
Exactly.
And so it's like, all right, we're going to heal this layer. We're going to be okay for a bit. And then the next layer is going to surface at the perfect time. Everything to me is divine timing. So at the perfect time, this next layer is going to surface, and I will have by then more tools to be able to look at that layer. And we're going to get through that, right? Smooth that over, heal that. Then at some point, the next layer, and it just keeps showing up in different ways. So, you know, recognizing being controlled, and then recognizing that I am worthy and deserving, recognizing a layer of anger, recognizing the layers of judgment, and that each each of those layers could have layers, because there's different strengths or levels of anger.
Oh, yes.
And that just is, it pertains to the situations, not just the person, but the situations where that anger started, right? And so just, I tell this to my students all the time, like, once you step on this journey of change and of healing, it is for the rest of your days. Like, this is life now, because when you're ready, a layer comes up. And in my journey early on, when I was learning this stuff, I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do this healing process and I'm going to be good, right? For the rest of my life, I'm good. But then I'd be going along, and then all of a sudden, man, I got smacked upside the head with something, and I just thought, I'm not getting this right. Something's wrong. What am I doing wrong? And it pointed it to me that I wasn't right in what I was doing, and it had nothing to do with it.
That's right.
I wasn't ready for that layer until that moment. So people don't think that Bev and I are immune to any more healing, because it comes up. Trust me.
It's just different now, though, so you don't feel like you don't feel like a smack in the face. Like last week, after we got off that conversation, or we finished our recording, I was like very thankful in my mind to this person, because it's helping bring forward information that we all could use. We've all been in this place. If you've been raised by a narcissistic person, or, I mean, you need to go look up the definition, because I don't know. I can't tell you the whole thing. I just know I've had persons in my life that it resonated with me regarding that person. And it's like, you don't realize it. And me being empathic, it's like, you don't know, but you always think that you're wrong. You know, you're always second guessing yourself. You're thinking that you're wrong. And I don't know where. Someone asked me, where do you think that came from? And it's like, I honestly, I don't have a clue. Did it come from early childhood? Did it come from the abuse? Did it come from me being empathic and being sexually abused by my grandfather? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I couldn't tell you where I lost that control, or where I separated from a lot of things. But it's like, you don't, and then from then on, you're always with someone that's controlling your life. So that person that was sexually abusing me had broke through all my barriers and was controlling me on many levels, to the point where if I tell, I'm going to hurt your sister, so controlling. It was always controlling. So it's like, then it's to me, it's like a natural. So that probably was, I'm probably answering my own question right here, right now, is it probably was where it started. Or it could have even been sooner, when we lose control, when we're being told no all the time, and we're not getting, having the opportunity to learn our own intuition, to learn our own guidance, to rely on ourselves. Although when we grow up, we become latchkey kids, because I was, where you don't have a parent around because they're working all the time to support the household. You kind of learn a lot of stuff on your own, which was not always good for me, but I'm still alive. I'm here to tell you, I survived my childhood. I survived the crap that I put myself through in childhood. But to recognize some of it, we don't have to go digging for this stuff. It shows up. That was one thing before, when I first started talking to you, and you were all about teaching and everything like that. I kind of resisted that, because it's like, I didn't want to go look in self-books or self-help books. I wasn't going to go looking for stuff to find out what was wrong with me or anything like that, which was not the message you were giving me, but that's how I was perceiving it. So I wasn't going to do that. And as I've just let all that stuff go, stuff surfaces. It surfaces when you can handle it. Just like you said, when you can hear it, when you can handle it, it surfaces every time. And of course, all the stuff happened around the full moon.
Yeah.
Which was crazy too, because even the day before this stuff all kind of blew up, or the 2 nights before, I had a dream or a vision, because I don't really call mine dreams anymore, because there's always messages. And this one was, I was with a person, and they were talking about my grandson and saying lies. They're not being integral. I don't know. They weren't being honest. I don't know what the right word would be right now, but they were talking about this person, and I'm like, I can't have you in my life anymore. You have no integrity. And then a couple days later, this person is no longer in my life. it wasn't the same person that I saw in my dream, but it was the same energy, and it was about integrity. It wasn't necessarily about my grandson. There is some stuff in there that I'm not going to bring forward, but it's like there was no integrity with this person. And then all of a sudden it was out of my control because I didn't affect this. Remember, all I said was no. And we've talked before, no it's a complete sentence. There is no, you don't have to justify, you don't have to say anything. No is no, period. And
Yep,
a person of control does not like the word no.
that's right. I want to go back to when you're talking about, well, we're talking about situation or relationships that, you know, you decided to take a journey of having self-discovery,
Yes.
right? Turning inward. What am I all about? What is this life for me? How am I ticking and getting triggered? And what can I do about that? How can I take my power back, right? It's all about in
Yes.
your inner work. And when you decided to take this journey and was learning this stuff, I mean, I did it too. It's like you learn this stuff and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is great information. I need to share it with everybody, right? And
Yes.
then the people in your life, when they don't take your information and utilize it or implement it, and then, you know, they still go about doing the same shit they've been doing and complaining about it and creating their situations or whatever, like, it doesn't make you right or wrong. And it doesn't make them right or wrong. It
That's
is
right.
your journey, it is their journey.
That's right.
And so I want people to understand that, like, nobody's right or wrong.
No.
Because honestly, and I'm going to go to an extreme, a murderer may think in that moment he's right. And the person he murdered was wrong. They didn't give me their money, they didn't give me their jewels. You know, they slept with my girlfriend. I mean, in their mind, they're saying they are right and this other person's wrong. Now, me as an outsider looking in on this, I'm like thinking the murderer is wrong, right? But really, this is where compassion comes in, is that he's doing what he knows how to do in that moment where he's having this anger or this fury within himself that, you know, his story that he's been carrying is I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, I'm not accepted, has been proven, and he's lashing out, and that's the best way he knows how to do it. That is right for him.
Yes.
I'm not justifying the story, it's just an example, and I'm not saying this is what you need to do. What I'm saying is that we're doing the best we know how to do with where we're at, with the skills and tools we have, with the knowledge and information we have. And somebody who's been extremely abused in their childhood becomes the abuser in their relationships as an adult. They're doing what they know how to do.
It's true.
And it doesn't make them right or wrong. And it doesn't make the victim right or wrong. What matters is, are you going to make a change? If you
It's
know
true.
being an abuser doesn't feel good, are you going to change that within yourself and work on that? Get help, get support, get counseling, get therapy, whatever you need to do. If you are the abused, are you going to stay in the abusive situation, or are you going to get help and make a change and do something different? Neither person is right or wrong. I am not right in what I've chosen to do. I'm right for me.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean that the people listening to this is wrong because you're
That's
not
right.
doing what I do. I'm not saying you're wrong. We're just sharing information that works for us.
That's right. And
And
that's where, because that just comes down to, that's why I love myself more. And it's all right, because I do, and I understand everything that you're saying too, and I can take it and reflect on it because I have reflected on a lot of this stuff. I do understand where a lot of the behaviors come from. But like you said, until someone wants to make a change, that energy doesn't need to be in your space all the time. That energy doesn't, if it doesn't make you feel good, why are you spending time in it? Why are you struggling? Why are you abusing yourself? Why are you forcing yourself in a situation that you know doesn't feel good? So it's, I mean, there is a lot of reflection in that. And in all that, really, on both sides. And like you said, it isn't right or wrong. But I just know what feels good for me. I just know what works for
Right.
me. I just know how I'm perceiving things. Not that I always perceive, like I said before, I was perceiving before that you were giving this information, and really, from my standpoint now, you were giving me information. I could do whatever I wanted with it. You weren't telling me to do anything. You weren't telling me to go inside. You weren't telling me nothing of the sort. It was how I perceived things. So I reacted or responded the way that I felt necessary.
Yeah, in a space of not wanting to be controlled, and somebody like me come up and say, Bev, look into this, and you're like, bitch, ain't nothing wrong with me, right? It's
You
like,
didn't
no, I
say that.
never said that. I never said there was anything wrong with you. What my point was, and you probably
Yes.
relate to this now, is you would feel much better,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then
right?
it is like the same thing you said, just like if I felt like everybody was pushing against me because I was being raised or controlled and all that stuff around that environment, at that point I was pushing against, not even recognizing why. Right? It's like, so that's why slow down and look at yourself. Why are you feeling this way? And it sounds confusing sometimes because it was for me. It was for me until it wasn't. I mean, you just kind of go with it, and you just keep asking questions, and you just kind of, you really got to pay attention, the people you're around, and not always are they, because sometimes, I mean, energies change, people change all the time. You hear people say that people don't change, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's all bullshit. But people can change, and it's really up to them, and they can come back into your life. I'm not saying that someone has to change to be in my life, but I'm just saying we're not alike energy. If our energies are not matching at all whatsoever, it doesn't feel good to me. It's not going to be in my life anymore. If I feel like I'm being taken down or judged or made feel less than often, that's not an energy I will be in. And that's boundaries.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind too that when you make a change, whoever has been in that space with you and is not changing, they don't like you to change, because now they don't know. When you start making changes, they don't know what to expect. Before, they knew what to expect.
It's true.
Okay? Now you're making a change and you're implementing new tools and techniques, and now they're just like treading unknown territory. They're like, holy shit, what just happened? She didn't yell at me. She didn't ignore me. She didn't, cuss me out like she used to. And they go into a mode of, they don't know what to do because they're not getting the same reaction from you. And it is about, we just keep coming back to loving yourself, that with what you're doing, it doesn't matter, is it the relationship, is it the money, is it the career, is it the health, what is it, does it feel good or not? And if it doesn't feel good, only you can make that change, and that change starts from going within.
It does.
And truly, because I've done this many times, that when you make the change within yourself and love yourself more and put yourself first in how you do feel and what you are thinking, that shifts your energy, your vibration, that you're emanating out into the world, and that automatically reaches those people that are in your immediate vicinity. And things happen. They kick and scream like having a temper tantrum because they don't like your change. They change themselves without, it's just like, it just flows right into them making a change. I've seen it happen.
Me too.
Or they go away.
Yes.
They exit your life. But the thing is you cannot make them change. You cannot tell them, read this book, do this, feel this way, think these thoughts. You can only do that within yourself, and then be the example.
That's right.
So you no longer go into that reactive mode when they trip your trigger, because the trigger's not there to trip anymore.
That's right.
You go into a responsive mode. And that's where the uncharted territory comes in for them, because they're not used to that. And then you decide, and we'll say with relationships, you decide, does this relationship, even though I'm making these changes, does this relationship still feel good to me? Do I still want to stay in this? Or am I still being abused? Am I still being knocked around? Am I still being verbally abused? Whatever that abuse is, they're all equivalent, by the way. Doesn't matter. Mental, emotional abuse is equivalent to physical abuse. You have to decide, am I worthy and deserving of something better? And that answer is always yes. So if you can't hold that space for yourself right now, Bev and I will. That is your innate birthright as a spiritual being, that you are worthy of amazing experiences, filled with joy and love. So changing within yourself and then checking in, does this feel good? Does this job feel good? Does the way my finances are feel good? Right? We can always do something to change it. And that is what makes us amazing beings, is that we get to choose. We get to feel and we get to choose.
That's right. That's awesome.
Took me a while to get that, but
I get
okay.
it.
Because had we not gone through our shit, we wouldn't be here with you. We just would not be here with you. We would still be bumping around, banging our head, bumping our toes, crying and angry, and still trying to control people, and living in that resistance. We wouldn't be doing this video with you, and so but keep in mind that there are multiple layers, and those layers still pop up for us as well. And so we're still always a daily practice for me. I know that when something comes up right now, take a look at it right now. How do I feel? Does this feel good or not? What can I do? If it doesn't feel good, what can I do to change it?
And it's easy, right? It's easy.
So simple.
If you think it's hard, if you think it's hard, then you probably are not having a very easy relationship with yourself. It's just like our outward relationships should be easy. They shouldn't be a struggle all the time. We might have struggles that we can be a team and work together through, but it shouldn't be a struggle against each other all the time. It shouldn't be. I don't think it should be that way. I think things should be easy, and if it's not, are you easy on you? Because that goes back all the way to the relationship to yourself. That's the first and foremost. Are you loving yourself? Are you being easy on yourself? Are you beating yourself up?
And the reason why we want to make it hard is because we're still proving we're good enough. The harder it is, and if I accomplish that, then I'm good enough. Your spirit and body, you're already good enough. None of that ever changed. You being spirit and body, pure love and joy, never changed. Never. It's the human side of all the emotional baggage that we got from our childhood and coming forward. It's just learning new tools, learning new skills, getting new information so that you can implement a change that you desire. And the change I made is not the same change that Bev made or the same change that the neighbor made. We're all where we are on our journey. The best thing we can do is be the example for one. So that just means live with your truths. Live with what you believe to be true for you and your self-love. First and foremost, that's how you live by example. It's not spewing your stuff all over everybody else, telling people how to do, when to do, why to do. You just live it. When people are interested, they'll ask. If they don't ask, don't waste your breath. We've both done that many times, and people don't hear you till they're ready. right? So be the example by just living it, practicing it. When people are ready, they will ask.
Yeah, and
Does
quit
it
making
make
yourself so responsible, right? All that responsibility, because I've done that. You put so much responsibility on yourself for everybody else because somehow along the line you thought it was it was major responsibility somehow growing up that you felt you were responsible for changing, or you noticed that you could affect the change in the family. You could make them laugh, or you could, turn on some music to maybe change their dynamics of your parents or whoever else is around. Maybe you thought you had to do all that stuff, but once you realize that you don't have to do all that stuff, it's not your responsibility. Even all the way down to my grandchildren, they're young, yes. All I am there is just to guide them. All I am there is just to watch them, let them make their decisions. If they fall down, be all right, be right there to pick them up and stand them up and let them just run off again or whatever happens, or just, be there when they need me. It's not our responsibility for everybody else. It's not. It's not. Our responsibility is to love ourselves because we are the greatest teachers to those around us if we're demonstrating that. Because then we're
you?
teaching everybody else to do the same.
Yeah, and you shared that meme on Facebook, um, and it was a quote by Wayne Dyer, but it's also the research of, the name's not coming to me, but it's that when one person changes their vibration to the level of being in a space of love, that's what I'm going to say, that space of love. When you shift your energy, your vibration, and you're living in that space, you affect 750,000 people. One person's energy, when shifted to a higher vibration, affects thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. So having that self-love has more benefits than you could even possibly imagine.
That's right. And it's not egotistical. It's not like, oh yeah, I love myself. I'm so no, it's nothing like that at all. It's a matter of just loving yourself more, giving yourself that attention, not valuing others' opinions over yourself. Um, just doing what's your truth, following your truth.
Yeah. And so that, just think about that. The higher you can get your vibration, the higher you can get your energy and be in that joyful. So joy, I've talked about this before, but joy and love are equivalent in vibration. Love equals joy and joy equals love. They're just equivalent. And that is your spiritual being. That is your spiritual being. There is nothing to deviate from that. That is your spiritual being. End of story, exclamation point, whatever you want to do, right? So the more we can get connected to that and let that shine brighter, the more effect we have. So if you want peace in this world, get your vibration up and emanate that energy.
That's right.
And don't walk around that I'm spreading my energy for peace and tell everybody about it. It's not about that. It's about smiling. It's about having that twinkle in your eye. It's about what you're feeding in your head. It's what you have going on in your heart. It's about those emotions. It's the whole package. And just be in that self-love more often so that that energy is going out to others to help them. Because that smile could shift one person at the grocery store.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter if it's 750,000 or one. Because you made the difference in one person's life, guess what they're going to do? It's the domino effect, right? It just keeps going.
It's true. In my experiences, it's true.
Do what?
I said in my experiences, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, right? It's in my experience, it's truth. What is true for you in your experience?
Go play with it.
Go not figure it out, but go explore. Not
Yeah.
really figuring it out. That to me is resistance. To me, that's like work. That's hard. I got to figure this out. That was the mindset I had when I started this journey. Now, use the word explore. going to go explore myself in this world. I'm going to go explore my emotions. I'm going to go explore what I've been thinking about. It's just an exploration, an adventure, definitely an adventure in my head. I don't know about you.
It's an adventure, and that word feels for me, it feels better. Adventure feels like I need to throw on my hat and my backpack and let's go do this. Let's go have some fun.
Right. Yeah, and I know when people take that step to make a change, to be on a path of healing, um, there's a lot of fear in there. They get scared because, I'm scared to look at my past. I'm scared to look at those situations. I'm scared to, you know, have to forgive this person. And if you just take it, you know, just take a breath and just say, I'm going to explore what my life has been about. I'm going to explore what I've learned. I'm going to explore the new tools and techniques I have. I'm going to explore this new information and knowledge that's coming to me from these two women that just show up every week on Facebook and YouTube. Right? Explore the information, explore yourself. Make yourself like this what do you want to call it? Like you're going for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The exploration of seeking that pot of gold that's within you, which would be your spirit, right? Letting that spirit really shine bright with that love. And I'm just going to learn about me. That's what I am so intrigued about. I'm like, when I started this journey, was learning about myself. Why do I have these triggers? Why am I having these thoughts? Why do I keep thinking about the past? Why am I hanging on to this shame and guilt? Why do these things make me scared and fearful, right? It was all about me, exploring me. How do I function in this world? Man, when you take that journey, so much could be just be presented to you in such a different way.
Just like, what are my passions? How many of us even know what our passions are?
Exactly.
I would say a majority don't. But it's like, you got to start somewhere. What songs are you passionate about? Like for me, I noticed that I even like to share the memes. I like to share the posts and stuff because I feel like if it spoke to me, then it's going to speak to others. If it uplifted me, it's going to uplift others. Not everyone, but those that are ready to hear it, those that are ready to see it, those that need to see it right now. So it's like our passions aren't just one big, huge thing. It's little things. Start following those. Are you passionate about going for a walk? Do you like to go look at flowers? When you're in the grocery store and you walk by the flowers, do you want to go over and check them out? And you think, oh, I don't have time. No, you got time. It's only going to take you a couple minutes. Find out what you're passionate about, because that's self-love, right? You're not ignoring yourself, because we've all learned to ignore ourselves. We got to take care of the kids, the family, the house, the job, the whatever, all of us. It's like, take that time. That's self-love. Slow down and go look at those flowers. Find out what you're passionate about. What colors do you like? Wear it all the time. Just it's all the little things. It's nothing big. It's little tiny things.
Simple. Be simple. Be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Make it
easy. I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she said, "Man, I'm just appreciating my life." She says, I don't even know how I can appreciate more, but I just keep appreciating. And it's like that, for me, that just was like, that's awesome, because that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Great. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
We're going to work ourselves out of a job.
That's fine. That's fine, because something else, whatever is needed, will show up again that's needed to guide people, or however it looks.
Would that be great?
Everything is always evolving.
Yeah. And I just, what came to me was the name of the researcher on energy or vibration is David Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
David Hawkins, and then also Abraham Hicks has their vibrational scale that they go by emotion. So you can look into those two things.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, this was great conversation. I say that every week. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Well, that's what works for me. It's my truth.
That's right. That's right. The whole idea is just going to bring forward other stuff for you. It may not be exactly what we've experienced, but it just brings forward information, because when you're listening, you're allowing.
Right.
So that's awesome.
That's true. Allowing yourself to hear something different.
Allowing information to come to you, answers to come to you, life to come to you.
Because if you've been asking the questions internally or to God or universe, whoever that might be, these internal growth questions, then you're listening to this for a reason.
Exactly.
So you're welcome.
Yes. And we really hope you have a wonderful week.
We do. We always wish you the best and many blessings. And just again, reminding you that there may be people that could benefit from this information as well. So just keeping that in mind. We appreciate your help in our growth in reaching more people. So thank you for joining us for Tea Time with Amie and Bev, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you.